Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nnewsstand, and we are back for another Bad Ideas. We are going to talk about some of the more recent controversies surrounding Buzz Lightyear, the movie that came out. And I wanted to dive into this because I found this one particularly interesting. There is a lot of rinse and repeat with these controversies, but I found this one a little weirder because Chris Evans was involved. So, how are you today, Bianca?
I'm hungry. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, first off, there won't be any spoilers for me. I haven't seen the movie. Have you seen it yet?
I'm not really interested in a Buzz Lightyear movie,
Yeah,
but because of
same.
this controversy, it almost makes me want to see it.
I actually I liked the original Toy Story movies. They came out when I was really young. I thought they were cute. I actually thought the one I think it was Toy Story 4 when they were getting towards the end. It was so sad. I was crying. I was crying. But you know what? I don't have the attachment to the character to want to go out and go see this in a movie theater. So again, no spoilers here. We're just going to talk about the controversy because I probably will see this movie eventually, but I'm going to wait till it comes on streaming. What about you?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna wait till it comes on streaming.
So we're going to talk about the LGBT. It feels like, it's Pride month. We've done 2 videos on Pride. We're just going to head right back in there. This whole issue came up. Now, one thing I noticed with the language of looking this up, and I'm not sure if you did or not, but they put in the headlines a lot of time about a kiss, but don't actually say who it is. A lot of the times I noticed they were kind of leaving it vague,
Yes.
maybe making it seem like it was Buzz that had the queer kiss.
hmm
And
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
I was
why?
saying that on the live stream.
It's very weird to me. And it's like, okay, I don't see this as an issue. Now, I posted a meme the other day I originally stole from Bianca and then repurposed
What?
it because we grew up. Now, we grew up with, and me and you have done videos about Disney princesses and Disney movies or Pixar movies, and we've grown up with romance. And I know you feel differently than I do. And I think that's why it's, it's good to get your opinion. I loved the slice of lifey romance stuff, whereas you kind of made it uncomfortable or felt uncomfortable in it. Now, when you look at a Disney movie, you're generally going to have some sort of kiss in it. Normally it's
Yes.
a hetero kiss, right? Like you've got
Yeah.
Jasmine and Aladdin, you've got Beast and Belle. You've got all these characters that has a kiss. But once we see a two women kiss, all of a sudden it is woke and affecting the kids. Like they're coming for your kids kind of stuff. I find it so weird. I find it so weird because to me, it's extremely hypocritical on a generation that grew up with princess kisses. We're gonna call them princess kisses because I don't know what else. And you grew up with that too,
Yes.
but you kind of always didn't like it, right? From my understanding.
It's something I've always tried to ignore. Oh, they're about to kiss. I'm gonna skip it. Who cares?
That's so weird. I was always like the girl that loved that kind, and I still do to this day. Like some of my favorite parts of different comics when I review them, like one more controversial that I like is Son of Kal-El. I love the intimate moments. I love those showing of romance. I like that kind of stuff, but I get it. I do. I also think there's a time and place for it. So
Mhm.
like with generally, with using Beauty and the Beast, we didn't see it all throughout. It was just a very end of the climax of the movie where we see, that them finally fall in love, them finally be able to get over the curse, etc., etc. So I don't see an issue with there no one's coming for your kids. It's no different than before. I think a lot of the times, and this is the best way I know how to put it, is if children, and this isn't nefarious, but if children are young, the generation growing up now, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, are used to seeing queer kisses on TV, they won't grow up to be like the quartering in the nicest way possible.
What?
They won't grow up to call it woke. They will just it's just normal because to us,
Doesn't
seeing
he have
stuff like
2 gay parents?
I don't know. I believe
I could
so.
have I could
I
have
think he
sworn
has
he
two
has gay
dads,
parents. Yeah, 2 dads.
which makes this all so much weirder. It makes it all so much weirder.
It actually reminds me of an article I read a long time ago, and it was like, lesbian's daughter is against the LGBT. And I'm like, I don't know why that's funny to me.
Like, isn't it a little ironic that you're upset about queer kisses when you grew up with Disney princesses and you have two dads? I don't get it. Now,
Unless they were like,
again,
listen, bro, we can't kiss in front of our kid.
why
You're
would
gonna
any
damage his
parent be like
mind.
that? That's so weird. It's okay. It's not. I can understand PDA can get overwhelming, like
What?
depending on, the situation, but there is nothing wrong with a hello kiss, a goodbye kiss, I love you kiss. It's a Wednesday kiss.
I
That's
hate you,
okay.
kiss.
Oh, what? I hate you kiss? Oh, Bianca. Yeah. Who are you kissing that you hate?
My dog.
Yeah. Understandable. But there's no controversy here. And I do know now from my understanding with this, and this comes from, I believe, Shane Nolan told me in the comment section that this was added because of the bill in Florida. Did you happen to hear about that?
The what in Florida?
This kiss was added because of the bill in Florida, the Don't Say Gay bill.
Oh. I thought that was gonna pass like next month.
Maybe. I
I don't
thought
know.
it did pass.
I don't remember these things. My memory's so bad.
No, but that this was added in kind of a protest stance.
Ah.
And
You made it political.
I actually kind of like, it's kind of cool to me. I know it's supposed to be like,
funny.
it's supposed to be like this whole like, oh my God, they did it in protest. Well, they did something very simple that shouldn't make people uncomfortable. I mean, that's the whole point of seeing something like this on screen. So you lose that uncomfortability. It becomes something like princess kisses. It becomes something normal for you to see. Now, if they did add it in protest, respect. Like, I have no issue with it whatsoever. But then you've got to add in I guess Tim Allen was the original Buzz Lightyear. Tim Allen's a great voice actor. He's a great actor. I have no issue with him. Why he's not, do you have any idea why he's not voicing it? Because
Yes.
I couldn't find. Okay, you did. Okay, so what ended up did you find?
So this movie is like an autobiography of Buzz Lightyear. This is the movie or life that the toy is based on. So it's going to have a different voice. This Buzz that we're seeing, he came first, played by Chris Evans.
So this isn't the other Buzz.
Yes, and the Buzz Lightyear toy.
So what's the issue?
And the Buzz Lightyear toy is the one that is based on this movie. So it has a different voice.
Aha. It would make no sense now with that context to actually have.
So people are spreading that he's being fired because he's pro-Trump. Guys, he's making a Santa Claus show based on the movies, The Santa Claus with Disney. He's not fired. He's still having a job at Disney.
And his Santa Claus show, I will be watching.
I will also be watching due to nostalgia.
Exactly. But like, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's actually a really good point. So I'm glad you found that. This makes more sense now. It had nothing. I did see people saying, "Oh, he was fired because he was conservative." No, he still works for Disney.
He's still working with Disney. Like, stop. This is embarrassing. It's more embarrassing that politicians are getting into this.
No.
I'm seeing so many politicians, including Ted Cruz or this woman named Patrice Houston or something like that. It's like, how dare you not hire my best friend at Tim Allen for this show? How dare you castrate this character? And I'm like, how is he castrated, bro? And everybody replied to her, just correcting her. that of what I literally said, that this is a movie that the toy is based on. That's why it has a different voice. And she got angry and made another tweet. And she was like, I literally posted a tweet about finding a box full of aborted babies, and that didn't get
What?
much traction. But everybody's replying to this Buzz Lightyear tweet. I see where you guys' priority lies. And I'm like, you're the one who made the Buzz Lightyear tweet. You didn't have to, but you did, and it was just people correcting you on it. Well, a
Isn't that the
majority of it
girl
was
that
people
played
correcting
in?
you.
Well, isn't that the girl that played in Everybody Loves Raymond, the mom, or not the mom, the spouse?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think so. I think so because I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, no, canonically it makes sense now. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, and everybody jumps on the conservative train, not even considering that he does work for Disney and he is shooting a big show. And then, of course, Ted. Yeah, I didn't see Ted Cruz chime in, but I'm not surprised. Like Ted Cruz is so. I'll leave my comments at the door.
And some guy named Nick Adams. I don't know.
I don't know who that is. I
So
don't
he's an
know.
Australian guy. He's not even from the U.S.
I
He's like,
always
what
find that
Disney and
weird.
Pixar has done to Tim Allen and his character is disgraceful. Every single American who is sick and tired of cancel culture should boycott them. And I'm like, do you realize that that's what kind of cancel culture is?
Yeah.
But like, like, aren't you Australian though? I don't know if you're living in America at the moment, but like that's weird. I'm sorry.
It's super weird. Like some of the bigger conservative names are not even American. Like what? All
A lot of
right,
them
okay.
are catering to Americans. They're like, this is how you can vote for me. I care. You care. Let's do this together.
Yeah, no. It doesn't work
Oh,
that way.
sorry, Patricia Heaton was her
Yes,
name.
that's exactly who that's she was in. I don't know if you ever saw Everybody Loves Raymond. She was
Yeah, I
the
like
main
a couple
character's wife,
times.
Ray's wife. Yeah. Just delete your tweet and say you were wrong. Like it's really not that hard. I do think and you kind of said it yesterday in stream. I do think a lot of people have a problem with being wrong and realizing they're wrong and then correcting that wrong. Um, I don't know why, but it doesn't show, in my opinion, it doesn't show any sort of weakness. I actually respect that a lot. I think it actually shows you're a lot stronger than the typical person. Like when that stuff came out, oh my God, it was such a whirlwind when it came out with DC about the death threats. I reported it. We had Bleeding Cool say it was fake, so I corrected myself and apologized. Then we had it come back out that it was real, so I corrected my mistake again. Like it's really not that hard to come back out. Like we know you're human. We know humans make are flawed beings. We know it's okay, but you still have people out there that haven't corrected their misreporting, because it's hard to be wrong, and I get that, but all she would have to do is just be like, "Hey, I found out this. My apologies." What the fuck did she say about finding a box of aborted fetuses?
Apparently, there was this place that she said it was like a house or something, and in that house they found a box full of I think full term aborted babies. But then I
What
was
the actual
reading
fuck?
more into the comments, and they were saying, well, actually, this wasn't just a random box of aborted babies. This is actually an abortion clinic, which is
Ah,
why there's you see aborted babies. But some people were saying they were not full term, so I don't know anything about that. But I do know that it was an actual abortion clinic, not some random
that's
place that just wanted to aborted babies.
that still sounds traumatic. Like I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
That sounds terrible, but like that's so random to be like, you guys care more about Buzz Lightyear. Well, maybe they just are trying to correct your mistake, like you said. So then that all leads us to Chris Evans, who does the voice. And I like Chris Evans a lot. I think he does a good Captain America. I think he's, from what I've only seen him act in Marvel movies,
Really?
but
You didn't see Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
not yet.
Oh, you didn't see Fantastic Four, the
That's a
original?
Marvel movie.
Oh, that you're just right. But when Marvel was owned by Marvel and not
Yeah, when
Disney,
Marvel was Marvel and not Disney.
that's my bad. I
I
don't think I've
actually
seen
didn't mind
anything
that
else.
movie.
I didn't mind the movie either. I think
The,
it's literally the only best one right now that we have. That's sad.
and there was no weird like outrage about Jessica Alba playing Sue Storm, which is ironic. And I loved the guy that plays Doctor Doom in that.
He
I
was the
think
only good Doctor Doom.
he's awesome. I love Nip Tuck. It's an old show, but he was one of the doctors in it. So I love that actor. I think he does a great job. He's actually also in The Runaways, which I'm gonna get you to watch one of these days. Just saying. But
That's fine. So
he's
apparently there's a another thing that Ted Cruz was complaining about was like, so you know how Disney makes and Pixar, they make movies, right? And then they make toys out of the movies.
right.
So he's
Pretty typical.
complaining about that they're making a toy with the lesbian character.
Wait, why?
He's like, how dare you add lesbian toys? And I'm like, sir, don't say it like that. That makes it completely different. That sounds like a
What?
completely different subject when you say lesbian toys. How dare Disney make lesbian toys? I'm like, no, no, no. How dare they make a toy about a lesbian? You got to say it like
Wow.
that. The context. And
He's really
there's
mad about a toy? How fucking old are you, Ted Cruz?
really old, I guess. And then there was
Yeah.
somebody who was like replying to the article, and he was like, "Listen, when I went to the screening, it was attended by dozens of families. Despite the concerns of blithering nincompoop Ted Cruz, I'm pleased to report that these parents and children somehow seem to have survived the trauma of seeing lesbian toys on screen."
So, if I can wrap my brain around this, it seems like Ted Cruz's problem is with capitalism. Just saying. This is what Disney and Pixar does. Every movie they make toys to go along with it, including the original Toy Story and every one of its predecessors. Of course, they're going to make a toy out of, I'm assuming she's more like, one of the main side characters at least.
Yeah, she's one of the side characters.
This is a kids movie. This isn't anything nefarious. This is showing kids a origin to this character. There is no reason, and I get it, parents can decide what they want, but that kind of leads us into Chris Evans' statement saying that thinking this is any different than the princess movies we grew up with is idiotic. There's no I know people have I don't see a difference. I don't get why people see a difference. And I actually seen like I feel like we talk about this on our bad ideas segments way too often. Daily Wire, the Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh company, being like, "Oh, this is some big nefarious Disney agenda with the far left, and they're gonna take over your kids and da 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 da."
Then don't
Dude,
make them watch it if you think
yeah,
it's going to take over their kids. It's
it's
simple
up
as
to
that.
you. It really, really is.
You're the
But
parent. Do parental control. We have remotes for parental control too. So your kids can't like go behind your back and try to put the Disney Plus on and use your
I
credit
totally
card and
picked
stuff. And
I totally pictured in my head a parent just using the controller to mute their child.
oh, I did find a funny tweet though.
What's that?
It was a person that said, "I don't get how anyone can defend the lesbian kiss in the Buzz Lightyear movie. It sets an awful precedent in our kids by making them think that attractive lesbians actually exist."
No! That's so mean!
No,
What?
that was the joke. They
I
weren't
know it's a
serious.
joke. I know it's a joke, but like,
It's funny because a lot of people did complain. They're like, "Oh my gosh, lesbians are not attractive anymore," and I'm like, here's an attractive lesbian, but she's a lesbian still.
there's so many attractive lesbians, like even pansexual women. Like
Saggy.
Saggy's freaking hot. I was just gonna say, Saggy is a beautiful woman. What are you talking about? It's because a lot of the people, the loudest voices always get the most, like the squeaky wheel gets the grease. The loudest voices are generally the ones that you would see like on libs of TikTok or something like that. They're generally that, but there's beauty in everyone. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, all of that, kind of cliches. But that is pretty funny. Like, I just I don't think, now I mentioned them adding it for the Don't Say Gay bill. I actually, unless Disney has said that, I don't know that that's possible, because the trailers were coming out right at the same time. So how were they able to add something so quickly? Animation takes, from
A
my
long
understanding,
time.
years.
It'll
Years.
take. I mean, it usually would take probably a couple months to do that.
Yeah, just even to add a kiss. I don't know. I find the whole thing, and the outrage stuff is rinse and repeat. I mean,
Mm.
it's pretty typical. We know it's pretty predictable, right? There's a black character in Star Wars, there's going to be outrage. There's something gay, it's going to be outrage. That's really what the woke word has come down to. But it's also kind of self-fulfilling in a way, because it becomes this cycle, right? There was we've talked about review bombs before. Well, Buzz and gets released, and it gets review bombed by the right. Then they make a video defending the review bombs, and then they make a video about the number. It's just a complete circle with these people to create content, and that's fine. You do you, boo. But it does
Everything is
seem,
content.
yeah. And then again, we can talk about it. So it generates content for my or something. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't mean dumb. I will cut that. But
Just use a censor.
yeah, there we go.
Beep. But
There we go.
you will have to do it with a hyena laugh.
Okay, hyena laugh it is.
Yeah. That
I'm
are
actually.
dolphins.
Oh my gosh, dolphins would probably match my voice better.
That's what
But
SpongeBob did.
oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Arya.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
no.
But yeah, the whole thing to me is so silly, and I want to share my screen because we actually had Chris Evans talk about this.
Oh, so bright.
It is so bright. The anti-gay critics, and he called them idiots. And then this creates more content. Basically, because now they're going to say that he's attacking the fans, right? Chris actor Evan has been criticized who people who react negatively to the film reflects traditionally underrepresenting groups, calling them idiots who will die off like dinosaurs. So the real truth is those people are idiots. And I'm not being mean here, and I know some of my audience will take issue with this, but I don't disagree.
So, did you hear what's happening behind the scenes after they put in the kiss or whatever?
No, I did not.
So, they were thinking about editing it out,
Mm-hmm.
and the LGBT people that worked on this movie, and I maybe some others, I don't know, they
Right.
were complaining, saying, "No, don't take it out." So they just let it be banned in 14 countries.
So they stood by their film.
Yeah.
I have no issue with that. Like, I don't think there's anything bad about that. A lot of times, even with they did it with Eternals recently. They do it with basically every film. They did it with Star Wars. They moved Finn back, right?
Yeah.
They change things around. I have no issue with it being banned in different countries. I think that is you standing by your product, and I can respect that. It's very unlike Disney to do, but that's awesome.
And I was like, "Oh, that's wow. Okay, you stood by after the complaint. Okay." It kind of sucks because I'm hearing people say that there's many like positive, powerful messages in the movie, like the
Uh-huh.
importance of friendship and perseverance, but that just gets blocked out because because they prefer to focus on the two lesbians.
That's a shame. Yeah, it does say which has been banned in the United Arab Emirates because I know it's banned in Saudi Arabia. I know it's banned in a lot, but you know what? I don't. As long as Disney's sticking by that, they're at least not being the hypocritical ones in this situation. The ones that are being hypocritical are the ones that are upset over a kiss, in my opinion. I don't think saying they'll die off like dinosaurs is smart, but what I think he was trying to say was a lot of the people that are more upset about this are further right conservatives who are actually who do have issues with gay people. And one thing I have a hard time kind of wrapping my head around is when people go, well, what's the need for this gay couple? What's the need for, this representation? When you never get that question towards, a straight representation, you never get that. Anything hetero is automatically accepted and fine. And anything queer is kind of extremely put under a microscope and dissected to the point where, like you were talking last night, I swear I'm gonna clip that. That was so funny. About the counting different times a woman saves a man. Like, stop. You're dissecting things to the nth degree. When at some point you have to realize the person coming off crazy is the one dissecting it, so much so that that Moon Knight was saved 11 times or whatever it was. I don't remember. It's just it's mind blowing to me.
It's also mind blowing to me. There's so many things that can have like concrete criticism.
Right.
Like when I talk to
Absolutely.
Samuel, Samuel. When
Yes.
I talk to him, I see actual criticism, like with plots and themes and all that stuff. I'm like, why didn't they do this and this instead of that and that? And then every time I see somebody else complain about it, it's just, oh, it's woke because she saved her husband. Oh, it's woke because of females in the forefront. Oh, it's woke because of
Bait and
like
switch.
he is critical of every single DC and Marvel movie that he rates them very, very low.
Oh
But
wow.
for the first time, like I don't want to tell you what he rated Moon Knight,
Oh
and it wasn't
no.
because it was woke.
Well, yeah, there's actual criticisms to be
Yeah.
had.
Like I think he rated it like a 4 out of 10 or something like that. Something like
Oof.
that. And or I think it was a 3. But then Miss Marvel showed up and he was like, "Oh my gosh, it's actually really good." And I'm like, "Wait, are you serious?" And he's like, "It's so good. I recommended Bianca." And I'm like, "What? You actually recommended? Oh my gosh." That's that my mind was blown to think that he actually really liked the show
No kidding.
because he's so critical of everything. And I'm like, I'm so surprised. Now that you like it, what if I don't like it?
That's so funny. Yeah, and if you were to listen to those loud voices, you would think it was absolutely terrible. You would think it was this, I don't know. I don't know at this point because I just stopped listening at some, you know what I mean? Like, I can be very critical. I went through the entire, like, I get a lot of shit for being a DC shill, which is absolutely untrue. I just went through the entire Pride anthology and went through and was like, this was bad, this was terrible. Don't read this story, but love this story. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
there are
weird because they're always here when you are being positive about something you like about the DC, whatever you're talking about. But
Mhm.
as soon as you criticize it, they're not here. And I'm like, where were you when she was criticizing all this stuff? Are you doing this on purpose? Are you a
Yes.
telepath and you somehow know which time she's going to be positive? So you go look at that and tell her she's a shill, and then every time she's criticizing it, you're just like, I sense that she will criticize, so I will just not watch.
Here's the thing. You cannot be a shill. The definition of a shill is someone being paid
She's not even
to
getting
use
paid.
their
Give me that
platform.
money.
Yeah, where's the money at? Like, where's the money at? No, 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 no. I am not, nor have I ever been a shill. I have been given very few books from DC. I have been given more indies, and some of them I don't review just because either they're not good or I don't want to embarrass somebody. I'm a lot more forgiving when it comes to indies, right? But I think I have been given less than 5 free books from DC in the 4 years I've had my channel. So don't tell me that I'm a show. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't get, and there are a lot of channels that get like Gotham Knights coming out. They get a big box set to celebrate and open and da da da. That is not my channel. Nor will it ever be. My views are entirely too problematic for them. They would never associate with me.
Ooh,
Now
problematic.
I know,
Mean.
right? I'm so mean. But now I can get some creators on, like I'm working with Stephanie Phillips on some Harley stuff. But like,
Stephanie!
I know, I love her. She's so cute. She's so cute. I love her. She's my girl crush. But individually sometimes I can get some people to talk to me. But a lot of that in at the behest of people like Vita Ayala, Joe Glass, a lot of that has disappeared. If you notice, my Ask the Experts is much fewer and further between because I am seen as somebody that is willing to criticize. I'm not seen as like, these far right da da da, but I'm definitely on the probably shouldn't associate with her list. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. That's not going to change how I do my channel. My channel originally started to talk about comic books, to talk about what I love. I'm still doing that to this day. The only change is I realized how hypocritical I was being. And you have to be willing to see that. And I don't think a lot of people are willing to see that. And this is a perfect situation to point that out. But everybody's just like, "Oh, it's gay. It's a gay kiss." So it's not allowed. What?
No, I was making a meme or something.
No, but I find the whole thing weird. Like, come on. If you're really back to Chris Evans, if you're really that upset about a gay kiss, maybe you are an idiot.
I mean, if you want to still see the movie, but you don't want you or your kids to see the gay kiss, literally just wait till it comes on streaming and then skip the 5 seconds of it at the
Yeah.
ending. It's not that hard. Just bloop. All right, 5 seconds. It's done.
And honestly, by the time it comes on streaming, you'll probably have a website say where the timestamp is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you really want to. But I'm saying, with that same energy, if you're raising your child and you don't want them to see that, that's your choice. That's totally normal. That's parenting in a nutshell. But have that same energy for a straight kiss. Have that same energy across the board. Don't be hypocritical because it's a queer kiss. There is nothing different about it. Nothing.
Well, for everybody, it'll just be considered because it's unnatural.
Says who?
Religious people.
But there's a lot
No
of
one's
unnatural
complaining,
things.
probably.
There's a lot of unnatural things in this world.
Like high fructose corn syrup.
That's right. But like I find it funny because people get mad at, gender affirming surgeries, but then don't get mad at people that have fake lips or fake tits. Like, use the same energy. What makes one feel better okay and another person feel better not okay? I am a firm believer of, if this person is living their best life, if they are making themselves feel better and they are not hurting anyone, who are you to judge? You are not the creator. You are not their mother even. Let them live their best life.
So I will eat cake.
Wait, what?
That's living my best life.
You will eat cake as living your best life? I will eat chocolate with every single meal. That and Coke. That is my best life.
So, Tristan, we talked about this Coke business.
I know, right? But it's delicious. Do you think, okay, so I have a real question here. You remember Disney started doing these on the streaming platforms? They started doing these trigger warnings. Like, if it was an old movie and it had racial stereotypes or anything like that.
Yeah,
do
do they still do that?
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure they still do on Disney Plus. Do you think they'll have one for this when it comes on streaming?
It'd be kind of funny if they did. hey, there's a trigger warning. There's a lesbian kiss. It's gonna be at this number, so make sure you skip it. And it's only like 5-10 seconds. All right, there you go. Enjoy the movie.
I how do I say this in the nicest way possible? They better not. Like, unless they have it for every kiss in every movie, they better not. It's
Funny enough, I told you about this before on Disney Plus. I was watching one that was about identity, and it was
right.
with a Chinese family and stuff. There was no trigger warning for that.
Well, that's good though.
So it's possible they may not have one for this.
I don't think they actually will. I don't see Disney actually doing that, especially they're not, I could see maybe if they were editing it and, releasing it worldwide. No, they're standing by the movie. And when you go and you watch any random princess movie or any, Shrek or anything like that, there's no trigger warning for that. So I actually don't see them putting one. But there was probably about a month back, a bunch of Republican senators and stuff wanting trigger warnings for all LGBTQ content. Anything across the board. Like,
So
why?
funny thing about that is that I don't think you watch them anymore. You said so. It's an older video of Abba and Preach,
Oh yeah.
and they were talking about trigger warnings. And the studies show that when you put trigger warning, it'll actually get the person more triggered and give them a more of a reaction than actually looking at the content. So
I
it's
believe
actually
it.
not helping the way they think that it is.
I absolutely believe that because when I see trigger warnings for things I don't particularly care for, whether the two things I like warning about is violence against children, I can't, or animals. And then some sort of, essay. I need a trigger warning for that, or at least a heads up. But when I see them, it gives me more anxiety. Like, because it's a when will it happen kind of thing. Is it, you know what I'm saying? Like, having that heads up makes me enjoy something a little less because I'm anxious. Does that make
Yes,
sense?
I definitely do get some of those. Like if they're very descriptive about the trigger warning,
Yeah.
then I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I needed a trigger warning for the Ezra Miller stuff, so I can just be like, okay, I'm
I'm
out.
sitting this one out. Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of sometimes to the point where, if there is like the biggest one for me is sexual assault. Like, I can't do it. I won't do it. And
So you can't watch
sometimes
Berserk then.
I know people keep suggesting that one and I'm like, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can. Um,
Funny enough, I didn't. It's probably because I already knew about it. But like when the scene was there, I'm just staring at it, and I'm like, okay. I felt bad that I didn't have much of a reaction though.
wait. Let me get this straight. Kisses make you uncomfortable, but you were just like, okay, in Berserk.
It's probably because it's more animated.
Yeah, I get that.
I seem to have more of a reaction with people not animated. Not that it can't be scary because it can.
Right.
I have Perfect Blue, um, which is created by Satoshi Kon.
Mm-hmm.
He R.I.P. guy. He's known for making horror thrillers, animes, and a lot of the protagonists are females. So sometimes he will have like sexual assault or rape attempt in the movies because he knows that to a woman that stuff is pretty scary. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember watching it the first time. I'm like, but of course, like I do like the movie, so I would like rewatch it a few times, and I guess I got not desensitized, but I got a little bit used to it. The one I will never get used to was the anime from Airmaster. That one scared the bejeebers out of me that I hyperventilated. So I'm always like, if I were to watch it again, will I still have the same reaction? I'm too afraid to even look at it again.
Yeah. Yep.
The anime sucks anyway. The fights are awesome though.
the thing is I won't go back. Like, I won't repeat. I won't put myself back through that. Like, there's even books like Identity Crisis that it's just like, no, no, I'm not going to reread this. I'm not going to. Even there was a weird moment in Lieber Mayhew and Brian Azzarello's Joker where they hinted that Joker actually raped this woman, and I'm just like, I can't with this stuff. These I won't do it. So yeah, I actually get that that could cause more anxiety. It could cause loss of viewership also. Now the racial stereotypes and stuff like that, I don't know that that would give somebody. Maybe it would give them anxiety, but I can totally get why the other one would. Was the one you were talking about, you hyperventilated? Was that the daughter one you were telling me about?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
I kind of understand. What's
I
that?
hate the dad so much. He's so
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah,
And it makes no
ridiculous.
sense for his character because he cares about his daughter so much, like, and he wants to just be a part of her life after his wife died. And then I'm just like, really, bro? Come on, disgusting. That man is twice her age.
Fucking creepy. Just so creepy. Well, this got dark when we talked about trigger warnings.
I'm sorry.
No, I get it. I didn't know that study exists, but it makes sense. I only stopped watching Abba and Preach because it's a lot of like manosphere stuff anyway, so it's really not made.
Actually, they've talked about how stupid the Manosphere is
Really? I didn't know
multiple
that.
times. And then I believe you didn't like how they treated that trans girl. I don't remember her
Samantha
name.
Lux.
Yes, they've talked about her too and realized that uh, they're like, okay, you know what? We understand now. Both sides are
Wow.
crazy. We don't want any part of it anymore. And
Wow.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, Tristan would be like psyched out if she saw this video. And they're like, we get that we like might not be, well knowledgeable about this stuff as we
Right.
think, even though we have our own opinions and stuff now. But we're coming to understand it a little bit more, and that one side and the other side are completely insane. We no longer want any part of it. And so they're like,
Wow.
they say that we understand we may say this, but we're always learning. I didn't have my views back then are completely different now. They could be different like a week from now, a year
Yeah.
from now, a month from now, all that stuff. And I was like, whoa! And I'm like, I want to send Tristan this video. I want to send it to her so bad, and then I would constantly forget.
I'm gonna have to check them back out because yeah, that was a lot of it. Like I felt like they went like I like Samantha Lux. I don't necessarily nobody's perfect, but she does a really good job just trying to exist and trying to give her side of things. I thought they went a little bit too hard on her. So
Mhm.
yeah, now I'm gonna have to check them out again. That's
Did you
awesome.
know
And that
that they were invited from one of the Manosphere podcasts and stuff to
no,
talk about? Well, it was ABBA. He was invited to give his view, and when he was there, he was shocked of how one of them treated the women, and he was like, "Yo, these guys are like crazy."
yeah.
I mean, they fight with Fresh and Fit, so they definitely aren't part of the Manosphere at all.
See, and then that's my ignorance. I thought they were. I don't like the manosphere stuff. They treat women like
I've seen so many, and I'm just like, okay. And then I would ask my brother about it, and my brother was like, listen, they're just scared of confident women, and they obviously can't handle them.
yeah.
And I'm like, really? You think this? And I'm like, yeah. Why else? It makes no sense to like try to keep women in this one place.
Yeah. And I get you may have your ideal women. We all have our ideal partners.
Tristan,
But
dang it.
the way that like even when I went around with Migto when my channel was brand new and they just were terrible to me. They were just they hacked my BitChute. They started uploading my videos as their own videos. They just and so that gave me a bad, version of it anyways. But then when no, it was Kevin Samuels that passed away. And some of the stuff that the people had been saying in the manosphere come to light about women in general, like a lot of these people really blame them all for their problems and truly, like the word misogynist gets thrown around, right? Like
Yeah.
way too often. But some of these people truly hate women. And I'm like, I want no part of this.
It's weird because I was looking at somebody and we're looking at Samuel's like really old videos before he did the Manosphere stuff.
Mhm.
He said currently in his videos, it's to help men, to uplift men, to
Right.
inspire men,
That's great.
but you're beating women down, especially
Hmm.
black women. But back in his old videos, he was inspiring black women, trying to inspire black women. And so people were wondering why the change. Because he said himself that it's giving him low views, but if he was doing men and then
Right.
doing what he said about black women, then he would get a lot of views. He said he would, and he did. So he know what he was doing. And it's like, I'm sorry, yes, you can give advice to both people, and I wish he could have done more of that instead of just switching one to the other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you can criticize people, but you're like judging an entire race of people, and that's probably not a good idea. And it's like the stuff he would say would really surprise me. The stuff the
Yeah.
Manosphere say would really surprise me, and I'm like, why do
I
you have a platform?
Yeah, exactly. And it's all weird to me. And you know what? That just proves that or proves a little bit that he knew how to oh, in the nicest way possible, get that money. Like he knew what people were looking for and it wasn't the uplifting and it goes back to what we're talking about. That people love the negativity, the
And
kind
they
of
charge
catering.
hundreds of dollars for their
Yeah,
services. And I'm
that's
just like,
crazy.
you guys pay for this? No, just talk to your dad, just talk to your uncle, talk to your brother. Like
Yep.
that's free advice. Don't freaking go to some person and pay hundreds of dollars for like
Talk
one
to
session.
Liana.
Talk to Liana. Look at her Manly Mondays. That's free content.
That's exactly right. And she's so smart. She does a good job with it. So like there are options available. The Manosphere to me is just like, ugh, I can't even with some of those people. And you know what? Kind of going back to the main topic, I want to say this before we go because I think people tend to forget that whether it is a lesbian kiss or a two men, two women, it doesn't matter. What you're judging them on is like judging somebody on their skin color. It's something they're born with. It's something they can't change. It is you used the word unnatural earlier. And I don't think it's unnatural. I think it is just a different sort of, chemistry, just how they feel. I think it is if you're going to judge somebody because they're born, into women or into men, then again, you're judging them on something they cannot inherently change. That is simply like judging somebody because they are Asian or they are black. And I get that's out there too. But at this point, it's definitely seen in a very negative light to be that way, right? Have that same energy with gay people because they just want to live. You know what I mean?
Yes,
They
of
are
course.
born that way. Cue up some Lady Gaga. I love that song. I'm not gonna lie. It's so good.
That's the name. Queue up.
No, Born This Way by Lady
Oh shoot,
Gaga.
I missed that part of the sentence.
I said cue up Born This Way.
Oh shoot.
You know what
I
song
mean,
I'm talking about, right?
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
The one that traumatized me. No, all of her music traumatized me.
What?
I had a cousin, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, look at this," and I'm like, "I get demonic vibes. I'm not watching this anymore."
No,
I love
Bianca.
the
Oh,
Great
you're so
Danes
innocent.
though. The Great Danes were amazing. I love them. They're so cute. I think they were Harlequin colored.
Whenever I see her in that video, I'm like, please eat something. Like, you're so skinny. She has really, really bad body issues too. So
Yeah,
I feel
and
bad for her. I know what that's fucking like. And she in that video, she looks emaciated.
that's a big word. I don't know that.
She looks very, very thin and unhealthy. There we go.
Oh, is that the same as an anemic or bulimic?
Bulimic is when you make yourself throw up. Anemic is when you are low on blood. So no, not the same
Iron,
word.
right?
Iron, yeah, iron.
Oh, Snowflake, you better not be low on iron again.
No, is he have an anemia problem?
Nah, she. I think she used to back in the day. She's. I had her tested. Her everything is fine. Blood work, white blood cells, red blood cells. Finally, because I think they said that her electrolytes would lower, and that would make her white blood cells lower because she wasn't drinking enough water. And
Aw.
so they said that it's completely fine now, but there's still a problem with urine, and I totally forgot what they said it was called because it was on my phone. I don't have it written down. Something phosphate or phosphate or something like that. So it means it's like too much ash.
Oh,
You know what ash is, right?
yes, I believe
In
so.
animal food.
No, I have no idea then.
Oh, okay, so like say you're cooking rice, and then
Hmm.
you messed up and the bottom is completely burnt and you have to like scrape it off and all that stuff. That part is the ash. It's literally like the burnt part of the food. And so food, treats, and canned food all have an ash content, but not a lot of them are going to put it on there. If you have too much ash, that can affect the urine badly.
Oh,
Fancy
wow.
feast. um and
Wait, what? I
so
use fancy feast sometimes?
no, don't tell me that. I'll judge
Oh,
you.
no. Now I gotta switch.
Like even Purina Pro Plan urinary has their ash content is like pretty high. Like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Their
That's a good
phosphate is
brand,
also
too.
really high. It's higher than what's the recommended amount. And then this is a food that's recommended that annoys me. But like in higher protein can cause higher ash, which is why you have to make sure how much you're feeding. I do give her high protein treats, and they said that it's the treats. So I'm like, okay, I have to tell my mom to lower the treats. And so that's it. That's what's going to fix the problem.
Oh, good. So at least it's easily fixable.
Yes, I
Poor
hope so.
little snowflake. So
She's
cute.
9 years old. She's like 52 or 53.
Oh, wow. She is old. Not
Yeah, but
old,
she still
old, but
acts like a puppy. My
aw.
vet says, "Oh my gosh, she looks great," and she's like, "Whatever you're doing right." And I'm like,
Hell
"Vitamins,
yeah.
probiotics. Make sure you put probiotics in your animal's food. People
So
too."
I definitely didn't know that either.
I mean, doctors don't really talk about probiotics. Some of them don't
Yeah.
believe in probiotics either. And I'm
Really?
like, I got IBS. Probiotics work for me just fine. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
My
Probiotics are
doctor
great.
did. He's like, probiotics don't work because they're dead. And I'm like, yeah, but the probiotics I eat are alive. And he's
Goodness
like, still doesn't
gracious.
work. And I'm like, well, it actually works for me. So I'm the one testing myself, so back off. He's
That's
not my
right.
doctor anymore.
Oh my goodness. That's too funny. All right, we are going to wrap up. Is there anything that I missed before we go?
I loved her hair.
Who's here? The girl
Whoever that
from
lesbian character is.
Yes, I liked it too.
Yeah, and even that her wife, or maybe, I don't know what the relationship is, she had
Right.
like that short hair, but it was also pretty cute.
Yeah, I think the design was really well done.
Mm-hmm. And she's
Um
short,
and she's short.
like
Yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah, you've even got me beat. That's amazing.
And Kid is cute.
Really cute. I was
And
only actually able to find one or two pictures, but yeah, I might be able to find them better now that the movie's been out a few days. They didn't release very many stills.
I didn't even know it was released yet. I'm like, whoa, it's released now? I haven't
Yeah.
seen anything about it.
Yeah, they didn't hype it up too much, unfortunately. But even so, yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to Bianca. Her channel is in the description. Do it right now and hit like and all that fun stuff. And we will see you guys next week on Bad Ideas. Bye bye.
Bye.